Hello, history explorers. I am Diankles, and today we will dive into one of the most epic confrontations of antiquity, the Punic Wars. On one side, the mighty Roman Republic, on the rise. On the other, majestic Carthage, a naval power with a vast commercial empire. For over a century, these two giants fought for control of the Mediterranean, in a struggle that would shape the future of the Western world. Get ready for a fascinating journey, filled with battles, betrayals, and brilliant military strategies. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and share this video with your friends. Let's uncover the secrets of this titanic war together. Chapter 1, The Setting Before the Conflict. At the beginning of the 3rd century BC, the Mediterranean was a boiling pot of power and ambition. Rome, after winning the Samnite Wars, was consolidating itself as the dominant force in the Italian peninsula. Its military machine, based on the legion, was one of the most feared in the world. On the other side of the Mediterranean, Carthage, located in modern-day Tunisia, was the queen of the seas, controlling trade routes and possessing a powerful navy. While Rome focused on land expansion, Carthage specialized in maritime trade, accumulating wealth and influence through colonies spread across the western Mediterranean. But what really differentiated these two civilizations was how they viewed the world. While Rome saw the Mediterranean as a battlefield to be conquered, Carthage saw it as a market to be explored. This contrast of visions would soon transform into a direct conflict as their interests began to collide. Chapter 2, The First Punic War, 264 to 241 BC. The first major confrontation between these two powers began in 264 BC on the island of Sicily, which would become the main battleground. The First Punic War was largely a naval war. Rome, initially inexperienced in naval battles, had to quickly learn how to build and handle a fleet capable of facing the Carthaginian navy. The introduction of the corvus, a type of boarding bridge that allowed Roman legionaries to board enemy ships and turn them into land battlefields, was a crucial Roman innovation. After 23 years of bloody fighting, with victories and defeats on both sides, Rome emerged victorious, but at a very high cost. Carthage was forced to cede Sicily, which became Rome's first province outside the Italian peninsula, and to pay a hefty indemnity. However, this victory did not bring lasting peace, but rather a pause before the next major conflict. Chapter 3, The Second Punic War, 218 to 201 BC. If the First Punic War was a test of endurance, the Second Punic War was a spectacle of strategy and courage. The name that still echoes today from this war is that of Hannibal Barca, the Carthaginian general who, in 218 BC, performed one of the most audacious feats in military history, crossing the Alps with an army, including elephants, to attack Rome on its own territory. Hannibal won victory after victory on Italian soil, including the famous Battle of Cannae, where he inflicted one of the worst defeats in Roman history. Rome, however, demonstrated an incredible capacity for recovery. Instead of confronting Hannibal directly, they opted for a strategy of attrition, attacking Carthaginian possessions in Spain and eventually bringing the war to Carthage itself. In 202 BC, the Roman general Scipio Africanus defeated Hannibal at the Battle of Zama, sealing Carthage's fate. The city was forced to surrender its fleet, pay more indemnities, and was forbidden to wage war without Rome's permission. Hannibal fled and spent the rest of his life in exile, pursued by the Romans. Chapter 4, The Third Punic War, 149 to 146 BC. Even after two devastating defeats, Carthage managed to recover economically, which alarmed the Romans. The tension between the two powers never completely disappeared, and in 149 BC, Rome, driven by growing paranoia, decided that Carthage had to be destroyed once and for all. The Third Punic War was essentially a long and brutal siege of the city of Carthage. For 3 years, the Carthaginians resisted with desperate tenacity. In 146 BC, Rome finally invaded the city. Carthage was completely destroyed, its walls were torn down, and the city was burned to the ground. The survivors were sold into slavery, and Carthage's territory was turned into a Roman province. With the destruction of Carthage, Rome consolidated itself as the supreme power in the Mediterranean. The Punic Wars not only determined the fate of two great civilizations but also shaped the future of the Western world, setting Rome on the path to becoming the greatest empire of antiquity. Final chapter. And so we conclude our journey through the Punic Wars, one of the most dramatic chapters in ancient history. Rome and Carthage left a legacy that still resonates today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and share this content with your friends. This way, you help us continue bringing more fascinating stories from the past. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.